Welcome to the project management tutorial for using the website Casual.pm. My name is Sean Hughes, and I'm going to be looking at some of the resources that this tool offers online as far as tracking projects and progressions of projects and assigning roles to teams, and then also exporting your progressions to a client in a visual format. So this is going to be a really quick overview. There's a lot of deep resources available as far as uploading files, embedding them within project items, but for right now we're just going to get a real quick overview. When you are in Casual.pm and you're in your project, it's going to start off with just a blank grid space. When you want to add a new task, you drop the task down and you give it a title. So for example, we might have a task where we sign with the client and identify targets. So we're going to sign with our client, we're going to identify, well, what is it that the client wants? Once we have this first piece assigned, and anytime we add a new component to it, we can go through and set a deadline. So we'll just set our deadline, and we're going to say with our sign with our clients on Wednesday the 10th. We can assign people, which we're going to do later once we have a framework built. We can add notes, and we can upload files. The files can be from your computer, from your Dropbox, from your Google Drive. And then you can also add comments as you go. So my notes would be more things like an overview of, well, who are we signing with, and what are our expectations as we go in for what we're signing. The comments might be things I add at a later point to update myself on how this signing went, maybe after I've already completed that task. Once I complete the task, I can click check mark of done, and it will turn the task green, or I can uncheck if I realize it's not, as well as deleting it. Now that I have that in place, I can add in other components, such as the fact that we need to have a needs assessment, and we need to start building our team. Ideally, our team's going to possibly adjust depending on the size of our company. If we want to wait till we get our needs assessment so we know exactly what whole components we have, but a lot of times you need to start getting pieces in place so you can roll once you get that needs assessment done. So we're going to have a build the team. Obviously, for the build the team, we're going to assign this role to our project manager, which would be myself. And once I have that assigned, you'll see that my name will pop up. Now we can add, and each person who signs in can add up through their name at the top. They can click on their name, go to my account, and they can edit their profile, change their email notifications, and they can change their picture. And that way we have a photo of themselves, and for kind of more of our visual individuals, they add in their photo, and then they close, and so now I can see who on the team is assigned to this role. Whenever we have our needs assessment done, we're able to start breaking down and working more through, depending on if we're using our rapid design or an ADDIE model, whether we're going to start the design and then develop, or if we're going to be rolling a lot of these pieces in together and having a lot of beta models. If we have an item, so say that we're working on our beta projects, and our beta projects might have different aspects within the beta project. So we have our design team who always communicating what the overall design of the project is going to be. Our development team might be plugging in other resources and connections and links, and we might have a graphics department that's working on visuals, creating videos and resources. So we might have a lot of things going on with this item. So if we want to take this item and click up here at the top, we can convert it to a group. And when we convert it to a group, we are going to be able to add individual tasks inside of it by double-clicking and adding new projects within our beta. So we can have new projects that are independent, or we can have projects that are connected. So this might be design team debrief. So they're going to debrief what they've got within their designs. And then it will go into our graphics development team, and we might have an entirely separate point for some of our web plugins, like if we need to get some coding built, but odds are that's going to all connect into our graphics team. So maybe it's going to feed into our graphics team as far as communicating what's going to be happening within this task. So we can adjust and create groups within. And then now this beta is actually a multiple step group that we can then connect and flow through, or we connect to another item. So you can always drag around and connect to different pieces. It's a real easy drag and drop as far as adjusting it. Outside of the block, you don't even have to click on the block or open it. You can click in the bottom left-hand corner to add a deadline. So we might have a deadline of the 18th. You click on the picture to add an individual, or within the block, you can assign people here, adjust the deadlines, and then once it gets completed, they just check mark that they're done. And this is going to allow us to have a real quick visual overview of, okay, so these pieces are all complete. If I want to select multiple components in one, I hold down Control on my keyboard. I can select and I can drag them. And I can also copy, and then I can paste these components elsewhere and apply. So if I know I'm going to have repeated cycles for different beta testing, so I'm expecting to test the product 3 or 4 times, and I have a good shell built for how I want that process to go, I can just copy it and paste it over again. When I've done this and I want to share progress, so this is my current outline, and I want to share my progress with the client, my share button up here in the top right hand corner will allow me to share a snapshot, an image like a JPEG, a PDF version, or save it as a spreadsheet. But then I can also click Post Deadlines to Google Calendar, and it's going to pull all the deadlines that I've currently assigned within my items and immediately share it to my calendar. I'm going to get notifications because I'm going to have it subscribed as team members complete it. I assign my team members underneath the Team tab, and this way they're able to get in, visualize their progress, check what they've completed, and see who they might be waiting on information for, or who they need to go contact. For example, depending on who's assigned to the needs assessment, my beta testers might need to go figure out who was our needs assessment individual to ask questions about the scope of what they're working on. When I've done all of these things, I can view the people and I can see what they have assigned. If I click on their name, it's going to highlight their pieces. Everything else gets grayed out for only their pieces. So if you see needs assessment kind of went gray, when I click on this one, the 2 assignments I assigned my primary email account, they went gray, and then the needs assessment lit up. So it's going to allow me to see all those pieces at different points. The last cool product I'm going to show you with this component is if you look in the top right hand corner. Right now we are on the overview tab. To the left of that we have 3 columns, and these 3 columns are going to allow us to get in and click through by people, and we're going to see a list of what tasks they have due. So we know we have a design team brief. There's some involvement in the beta and the graphics development because these are all tasks that either they created or that they were assigned, and we can see their completed tasks. Because I'm the project manager, all of these are still falling underneath future tasks. However, for my individual I assigned a task to, they only have the needs assessment. So because they aren't related with making of the product, if I didn't assign it to them, it's not popping up in their tasks, so it's not getting muddied down. So I'm able to look in here and I can immediately add notes. I can add comments asking questions. My team can upload files and screenshots of progress, or for areas for feedback, they can upload a screenshot file, and that way I can look at it and I can add a comment to it. So this is just going to be an overall really easy way for us to, as project managers, get real clear views of what the progression is, kind of like a storyboard progress. I can minimize that if I want to make it larger and full screen my application as well. So this is just a real easy storyboard method. It takes no real time to populate it. It's going to be even faster for your team to process it, but the real big upside that you're getting is that instead of you having to keep track of files and watch all your emails and go and hound your team to see who's on which assignment, where are they in the process, you're able to get on here and really quickly look. Then you're able to allow yourself the time and the mobility to go and check up. This is due in 2 or 3 days. I need to go check on this individual, or this was already due. I need to go figure out why it's behind if there's not notes. But if a team member knows they're falling behind, then when they click on the item, they're able to add a note in here, a comment, say, missing responses, ETA might be 2 days. And this is going to save me the time of having to go and necessarily get on that individual. If it's something we have that mobility, I can let them just work. Or if it's something that, hey, look, they're missing responses from the client, instead of them having to hound the client or me hoping they come contact me when they already probably have a full plate, I see their comment and I immediately go contact the client on their behalf. So this is going to allow me to really keep a clear update of everything going on. And if that question gets resolved, I can just delete the comment. And that way I know that whatever is going on with it is fixed. So this is just really fast for the client. For the project manager, it's going to take maybe an hour to lay out a really detailed version of this, probably a lot less, especially once you get used to it. And then for the employees, it's going to take, or the development team, it's going to take no time to get in and populate it. And once you have your projects built, you're able to right click, you're able to click the tool in the top right hand corner, and you can archive it, you can remove it, you can edit, but you can also, the really important part is once I know I have a successful formula for my team and we really know how it works, I can just clone my project, rename it, assign the same executors and the same deadlines, or I can change those, or I can just leave it blank and populate it myself. And so once I've built my first project outline that I know is successful and I know works for my team, every project after that gets easier because I just clone and copy, go in, and maybe adjust some of the roles, adjust the deadlines, adjust some of the notes for the specific content, and then ready to go. And it also has mobile friendly components to it. So I know this is a little bit of a long, quick overview, but this is really just a really in-depth tool that as a project manager is going to make handling all of your tasks that you need completed, outlining them, storyboarding them, making sure that you're all on the same pace and the same plan, a really easy process. So it's definitely worth looking into as opposed to the old method of trying to keep up with like a Google Doc or something along those lines.